to the next point.
Towards
We should ensure
us.
whatever we say is clear.
That means work is being done. We can see that it is in opposite direction. It is clear.
You're welcome once more to this segment of the Kaduna State e-learning program, both on radio and television. The subject is English language. Today, we'll continue with stress in words. As usual, my name is Mr. Emmanuel Jato. Now, you recall that in our previous lesson, we said that when a word has just one syllable, the stress lies on that syllable, and that there is no need to show stress mark on it. And we gave example that week by using words like chair, care, hair, bear. Now you find there's an N in bracket to indicate that the word I'm using is a noun, not a verb. Fair, white. Now all the above words are made up of just one syllable, and as such, there is no need to have the stress mark upon them. But when a word is dynamic, like I said last week, when a word is dynamic, depending on whether it can be used as a noun, stroke adjective, or as a verb. Nouns and adjective are stressed on the first syllable if that word is dynamic, while the verb is stressed on the second syllable, that is in bisyllabic words, that is words having two syllables in them. For instance, we have noun and adjective on the one side, and we have verbs on the other. If you look at the first word there, export, we are using that word as a noun. If you look at this other point here, we have export, we are using this word now as a verb. Over there, we have import, that word is a noun. While over here, we have import. Now we're using this word as a verb. Then the third one there, refuse. We are using that word as a noun. Over here, we have refuse. We are using this word now as a verb. Then we have rebel. We are using that word as a noun. And then rebel, we're using this one now as a verb. Digest, we're using that word as a noun, while digest is used as a verb. Now all the words above are examples from our previous lesson where stress in words was introduced. In today's lesson is an extension of what we have done previously. Now take a look at the following words. We have about 11 of them. First one, intention, then contemplation, then suspension, then extermination, then suspicion, then nation, then extension, then commotion, connection, temptation, and communication. Now you'll notice that 1, these words are polysyllabic with the exception of nation, which is bisyllabic. 2, all the words above end the same way. They all end with ION. When we syllabicate, that is, break the words into syllables or their smallest units of meaningful sounds, we get number 1. For temptation, we can break it up into 3. Temptation. That is, we've broken it into 3. Now you'll find that one of the options, that is B, is highlighted. It indicates that that is the place that receives the greater emphasis when the word is produced. Temptation. Temptation. Number 2. This one is also having 3 syllables. Intention. You will notice that B is also highlighted to indicate that that is the place that receives the greater emphasis if the word is to be produced. So when we produce the word intention, 10 is the place where the primary stress lies. Number 3, contemplation. Contemplation. Now, in this place, this word has 4 syllables. Con, tem, play, shin. You will notice that also in this one also, option C is highlighted to indicate that that is the place where the primary stress lies, and it is at that point that more emphasis is placed. It is produced louder than the rest of the syllables. Number 4, extermination. Extermination. Now you will notice that there are 5 syllables here. Ex, ter, me, ne, and shin. You will notice that option D, where the ne is highlighted, is the place where the primary stress lies, and it is the place where it receives the greater emphasis. 5, suspicion. Suspicion. The same applies. It has only 3 syllables, and option B has our highlight, and therefore that is the option that receives the greater emphasis. Then option 6, number 6, nation. Nation. This word has only 2 syllables, and it is the first one that is that receives the greater emphasis. Ne receive the greater emphasis, and therefore that place should have been highlighted. Number 7, here we have 3 syllables as well. Extension. Extension. Therefore, option B is the place with the greater emphasis, and therefore receives our primary stress. Option 8, commotion. Commotion. Option B is also highlighted. It is the place that receives the greater emphasis, and therefore that option will be our answer. Number 9, connection. Connection. This also has 3 syllables, and option B is the place where our answer lies, because the syllables highlighted, neck, is the one that receives the primary stress. Number 10, temptation. Temptation. Here we have 3 syllables: temp, te, and shin. And option B receives the primary stress as well. 11, communication. Communication. Here we have 5 syllables: com, mu, ni, ke, shin. Option D receives the greater emphasis, and therefore that is the place where the primary stress will also lie. Now, what did you notice about from the above? What did you notice? You will notice that 1. Some options have certain syllables marked out. The whole words have similar ending. They all end with ION. This means that the options with the marked syllables have the primary stress and are therefore the right option to pick. When a word ends with ION, it is stressed on the second to the last syllable or the syllable before the last. Now take a look at these other words. Fantastic, monolithic, prolific, gymnastic, quadratic, synthetic, specific, linguistic, antagonistic, and pessimistic. Here too, the words above end in similar fashion. They all end with IC. Now let's syllabicate them and see. 12. Fantastic, fantastic. Here we have 3 syllables. Fan, tas, tick. You'll find that tas in option B is highlighted. That is the place with the primary stress. 13. Monolithic, monolithic. Here we have 4 syllables. Mo, no, li, thick. You'll find option C. In option C, the li is highlighted. It is the place that receives greater prominence, and as such, it is the place that receives the primary stress. 14. Prolific, prolific. Prolific has 3 syllables. Pro, li, thick. You'll find that option B, where li is highlighted, it is the place that receives the greater emphasis, and therefore it is the place with the primary stress. 15. Gymnastic, gymnastic. This also has 3 syllables. Gym, nas, tick. You'll find option B. In option B, nas is highlighted, and therefore it is the place that receives the primary stress. 16. Quadratic, quadratic, quadratic. This also has 3 syllables. Option B. In option B, dra is highlighted to indicate that that is the place that receives the greater emphasis or greater prominence when this word is produced, and therefore it is the place with the primary stress. 17. Synthetic, synthetic. This has 3 syllables as well. Syn, the, thick. Syn, the, tick. Option B. The is stressed, and therefore you can see it highlighted. 18. Specific, specific. 3 syllables as well. Spe, si, fic. Option B. C is emphasized, and therefore it is highlighted. 19. Linguistic, linguistic. Here also we have 3 syllables. Ling, guis, tick. Option B has guis highlighted, indicating that that is the place that receives greater prominence, and as such it is a place that we have the primary stress. 20. Antagonistic, antagonistic. Here we have 5 syllables. An, ta, go, nis, take. 5 syllables. Now, since the words are broken up into syllables, you'll find that option D, where nis is highlighted, is the place where the primary stress lies. 21. Pessimistic. Pessimistic. Here we have 4 syllables. Pes, si, miss, take. Option C, where miss is highlighted, is the place that receives greater prominence. Now, what have you noticed about these words? That is, the words above. What part of speech do you think each of the words is? These ones are also stressed on the syllable before the last. Some options have one of their syllables highlighted, right? Now, those with the highlighted syllables are the right choices. The highlighted syllables are the ones with the emphatic stress. Now, I would like to sum up all the things I have done from the beginning to the very end. Now, we said words having only one syllable have that very particular syllables emphasized, and there is no need to place any stress mark upon them. Next, we said if a word is bisyllabic, meaning that it has 2 syllables, and if that word is dynamic, meaning that that very word we will have the same spelling for nouns and adjectives and the same spelling for verbs. Nouns and adjectives are stressed on the first syllable while the verbs are stressed on the second syllable, as you can see from the examples on the board. Now, for today's lesson, all the words we have on the board end with ION, and therefore you can see them: intention, contemplation, suspension, extermination, suspicion, nation, extension, commotion, connection, temptation, communication. All of these words end with ION. Now, what did you notice about these words? We said they are polysyllabic, except for the word nation, which is bisyllabic. We also said that since they all end in the same way with ION, they are to be stressed on the syllable before the last. Then we syllabicated these words into the various syllables that combine to form them. Now, a syllable is the smallest unit of meaningful sound. Now, each of the syllables we have, for example, in the word temptation, we have 3 syllables, and therefore, since the word ends with ION, the syllable before the last is the one that is going to be emphasized. Te. The same applies for intention and contemplation, extermination and suspicion, and nation. Extension, commotion, connection, all of them are to be stressed on the syllable before the last, including temptation and communication. Now, I asked you the following question. I said, what did you notice about all these? And we said, all of them end with ION, and therefore they are to be stressed on the second to the last syllable. Now, we took some more examples. Words ending with IC: monolithic, fantastic, prolific, gymnastic, quadratic, synthetic, specific, linguistic, antagonistic, pessimistic. We said all of them end with IC, and therefore, because they end with IC, they are also to be stressed on the syllable before the last. What this simply means that if a word ends with ION, you stress it on the syllable before the last. If it ends with IC, you also stress it on the syllable before the last. Assignment 1. Where are nouns and adjectives stressed in bisyllabic words? Where are nouns and adjectives stressed in bisyllabic words? 2. Generally, where are words with ION? Where are words with ION as ending stressed? 3. Syllabicate the following words and show where their stress lies. 1. Kinetic. 2. Sympathetic. 3. Simplistic. 4. Phonetic. 5. Nationalistic. 6. Fantastic. 7. Gymnastic. 8. Prolific. 9. Pessimistic. 10. Antagonistic. 11. Scientific. 12. Shambolic. 13. Scholastic. 14. Skeptic. 15. Schizophrenic. 19. Geographic. Number 4. Syllabicate the following words and show where each is stressed. 1. Examination. 2. Contemplation. 3. Ramification. 4. Construction. 5. Completion. So, thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can forward them to my numbers here on the board. The first one is 080 57 31 3044. 080 57 31 3044. And the next one is 090 1996 8787. 090 1996 8787. I remain your regular teacher, Mr. Emmanuel Jato. Stay safe, keep learning.